Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new, welcome. I'm Ashley and this is my everyday. Now you may have already seen that I posted a video showing the two pens that I purchased for National Pen Day. And honestly, that was what I had intended on being the only purchase that I made. However, in that video, I also mentioned that I did make a second purchase. So the Sunday following National Fountain Pen Day, I was on the shop app, as you know, one does, and I saw that Goldspot Pens had a special, which was $25 off. I think it was a purchase of $75 or more. So, you know, as one does, I thought, I'll just have a look. And the thing that really started this whole thing off was this cute little narwhal pen sticker, and I was like, you know what, that's so cute. How about I keep looking? And then I found what you see here. So the first thing that really kind of pushed me over the edge to make a purchase, not simply a $3 sticker, was this set here. Now, it didn't come in any kind of special box or anything, but they had a gift set that included a Lamy Safari. This is in the apple green colorway. A full bottle of the Jacques Herbin Enamored de Chevaux. I'm sure I said that so badly. And then a converter for the Lamy Safari. Now, it was originally priced at $75, and I'm not really sure how they got there, because when I added up the individual totals for the items that came in it, I think I got to $74.50, which is weird, unless, because this was apparently a limited edition pen, unless that was more expensive than the traditional Lamy Safaris are, I'm not sure. However, it was marked down to $59.95, and remember, I had $25 off. So I did pick these up, and because I needed to get a little bit higher, I found an ink, and I think the total was somewhere, including tax and shipping, around like $85. So I thought, what could I put in my cart that would prevent me from paying shipping? Because, you know, as one does. And so I found another ink, put that in my cart, and then altogether everything with the discount and no shipping plus tax came out to, I think, $82 and change. So, I mean, it's still, that's not a small amount of money, but I felt like I got a good bargain. Maybe, I don't know. So let's start by taking a look at the pen itself. All right, so I have, I think, two other Lamy Safaris, and I really like them. And they all come in this same sort of box. Now this one is the apple green body, and then I got a fine nib on this, honestly, because that was all they were really offering at that point. And the other two that I have are extra fine, which I really love. So I'm interested to see what I think of the fine nib. Now, I'll be very honest, I love green. Green has got to be one of my very favorite colors. This, however, is a little bit bright even for me, so I think that it's really pretty, but I'll be honest, if I was choosing a pen for myself, there are other colors that I probably would have chosen before this one, but I still quite like it. So as with all of the other Lamy Safaris that I have purchased, we have the nib here, and then inside we have an ink cartridge, and then we have a spacer, just a cardboard spacer. So I haven't decided if I'm going to be inking this up or not. I have a lot of pens currently inked. In fact, let me show you. So these are all of the pens that I currently have inked, which I know for some people doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, I don't do a ton of writing every single day. So even this is a lot more than I currently need inked up, but you know, it's just fun. So I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and ink this one up or not. All right, so as I said, while the pen itself may not have been high on my wish list, this ink was. This has been an ink that I've been so curious about. This is the Jacques Herbin Enamored de Chivor. I'm so sorry. I'm probably saying that really, really badly, but this is one of those inks that I have seen swatched out so many times, and I have just been really, really in love with it. So this is, oh, such a beautiful, beautiful bottle. My goodness gracious. So as you can see, it does have some shimmer here. And it is, I believe, both a shimmering and sheening ink. And while sheen is not my very favorite attribute in an ink, shimmer really, really is. I am a glitter girl through and through, and I have absolutely no apologies for it. So let's go ahead and open this baby up and let's swatch her out. All right, so already I am so happy with having this in my life now. I love this beautiful, like deep tealy green sort of color. And then of course the shimmer running through it, I can already see starting to develop, which is just so unctuous and beautiful. I'm very, very excited. In fact, I really kind of wish that I had had this ink when I unboxed my Banu, because look at that. I feel like this might have to be the next ink pairing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy with the diamine that I put in there, but I feel like this would have been just an absolutely incredible pairing. So the next ink that had made its way into my cart is from Sailor. Now this is Sailor Ink Studio 224. And I know I have worked with other Sailor inks, but I think this might be my first Ink Studio ink. And the swatch of it online just looked so neat. And I am really interested in it. Now, it doesn't seem to have any sort of shimmer in it. So I think what I was looking at, it must have been more of a sheening or even a shading type of ink. But it looked like it went through some color changing properties, which I'm not gonna lie, that to me is just so neat. But overall, I enjoyed the base color of it as well. So I'm really interested to see what it's gonna do here for me on my paper, because I'm starting to kind of forget what it was that had me so interested in this ink, just looking at it in the bottle here. Oh, there it is, yep. I see the pink in there. Okay, I'm not losing my mind. Oh my gosh, look at that. I really hope that the camera is picking that up, because that is wild. That is wild. How cool. Okay, this dip pen for me just doesn't hold ink for very long. I see, oh, and it's got some green in, yes. This is very cool. This is why I bought this ink. This is why in the swatch I bought this ink. Look at that. So we've got that beautiful murky kind of blue, but then underneath you have this purpley pink and green shading coming through. That is an incredible ink. I'm really interested to ink this into a pen, because as I think we all kind of know at this point, the way that it looks in a big swatch like this doesn't always translate to the way that it looks when using it in a pen, especially because I myself, I prefer fine and extra fine nibs. So it's not going to lay down as much ink as, say, a broad nib or a stub. But that is really so cool. And finally, the ink that I justified by needing to go over the shipping threshold is a Vinta inks. Now, I've never tried anything from Vinta, but again, the swatch of this just looked really cool. And there are just so many brands that I am really keen to try based on the swatches of other people that I watch here on YouTube. And I'm very excited about this. So let's see if I can get it out of the box. Oh, and look at that. It comes wrapped up in plastic. That's nice. Interesting, but nice. All right, so here we have her all unwrapped from the plastic. And I think I forgot to mention the name of the color. This is called Sail Fin Green. And as I said when we first started, green is one of my very favorite colors, so I cannot get enough of them. Adding another green to my collection. Oh yeah, see this murky sort of green, definitely love, but it still has a bright, almost springiness to it. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, that's really pretty. Let me go ahead and allow all of these to dry, and then we'll do some close-ups. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes and we are mostly dry. And I'm not gonna lie, I am absolutely entranced with these swatches. I have been wanting this Jacques Herbin for so long, and I'm honestly so incredibly taken with these two swatches right here. So let's do a few close-ups. Like, oh, look at that. That is so beautiful. I really hope that the camera is catching it. Now, again, the swatches don't always show what it looks like written. So I am going to be doing some writing samples in a bit once it's inked into something. But so far, like, that's incredible. And then here we have the Sailor Ink Studio. Like, look at all of that shading. The green and pink and purple. It is, like, you can't even see the original color that it was, that kind of murky blue color. Like, that's amazing. Honestly, though, I think I'm most taken with Sail Fin Green. This is absolutely entrancing. You can see the kind of silvery blue shimmer that runs through that, but then also the beautiful shading of that green and yellow and bits of pink. I am really happy with this purchase. And in fact, while I haven't decided if I'm going to ink this up quite yet, I feel like when I do, this is actually a pretty good first step. And since this is a fine nib instead of extra fine, I'll be really interested to see how much of that shimmer comes through in the writing. The Sailor that, or not Sailor, the Lamy Safari that I've inked up right now is this one right here. This is, I think, called Pink Cliffs. And it has a shimmering diamine ink in it. It has Winterberry, and it's in an extra fine, and I can see the shimmer come through in my writing. So I have very high hopes for the Vinta ink as well, especially in something like a fine versus an extra fine. So I'm really excited, and I'm really looking forward to playing with these more. Like I said, I'm not sure that I'm going to ink them up immediately, which is so sad to me. And again, kind of reinforces why I need to be using my pens more often and not inking them up quite as many at a time, because I just want to dive into these inks so badly. I would love to know if you have worked with any of these inks. I know this one here is quite popular, but I'm not quite sure of the other two. So please let me know what your experiences have been. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you'll join me for the next one. Bye.